As the British public think that we own Harry the way that we speak, and we really don't. Harry and Meghan have had their story told by royal reporters and media for so many years. This is a young man who's setting straight 38 years worth of lies and briefings about him. And the worst thing for abusers is when abused people find their voices. And if you think that one Oprah Winfrey interview and a couple of podcasts and a book even come close to making that up, you're wrong. If Harry took another 5 years worth of doing interviews and press media, it wouldn't be enough to put a lifetime's narrative straight. Harry and Meghan are earning their own living and making their own way in life. And because history has shown us that with the right PR, it's possible to rewrite the narrative.
Yeah, two things there. I mean, I think it's very disingenuous to say that the royal family are living off taxpayers' money, because they do work incredibly hard.
Because Meghan told you that, or was it because someone at the royal family's press office briefed the media to let you believe that? Because I'm sure Meghan didn't tell you that.
I've not been briefed, and I never for 1 minute said that I'd had any conversation.
Where did you hear
with
that? Where did you hear that?
Hang on a minute. This is a point of his form of breaking up families. Let's not forget, she broke up her own family, and now she's breaking up the royal family. And I feel sorry for Harry, and I do think there is remorse there.
No, all I will say is everything that you've just regurgitated is the stuff that I've read in the Daily Mail and the right-wing press. It is absolutely ridiculous. And it shows that you've been spoon-fed this narrative and you are now believing it. So, I mean, you've drunk the Kool-Aid. What can I say?
Come on, that's really, really quite rude, actually, for one that actually doesn't read the
Daily Mail. It really isn't. You're being really rude about a couple of people that you've never met in your life, and you are making all these assumptions about them by the briefings that have come from the palace. None of us know any of these people. Listen.
When Jasmine Dotiwala leaned forward on that Jeremy Vine panel and said, "It's his right to put the narrative straight," you could practically feel the air shift in the studio. It was one of those rare television moments where truth slices through the noise. Because let's be honest, for years, Harry and Meghan have been the royal family's favourite punching bags, the go-to scapegoats for every headline and every whisper of palace drama. And suddenly, someone had the courage to say what everyone with common sense already knows. When the world keeps lying about you, you have every right to speak your truth. You could see Alex Phillips clutching that 1,000-year-old institution line like it was the family Bible, as if the monarchy's age automatically makes it sacred. But newsflash, 1,000 years of silence doesn't make something honourable. It just means the system's been getting away with too much for too long. These pundits throw around phrases like tradition and respect for the crown as though that cancels out the pain Harry and Meghan endured under that same crown's watch. The press didn't protect them. The palace didn't protect them. Yet somehow Harry is expected to stay silent out of loyalty to the very people who failed him. What Jasmine did, and why her words still matter, is remind everyone that the media doesn't own the truth. They twist it, they sell it, and they weaponize it. For years, tabloids turned Meghan into a caricature, diva duchess, demanding wife, Hollywood climber. They ran stories so absurd they could have been written by cartoon villains. But when Harry dared to speak up, to correct the record, the same outlets screamed, "He's attention-seeking." Oh, please. The only attention seekers are the ones who can't go a single news cycle without using his name for clicks. And let's talk about this obsession with comparing them to the Kardashians. Every time someone says, "They're not the Kardashians," I want to laugh. Because the royal family created a media circus long before reality TV existed. If anything, the Windsors are the original Kardashians. Palaces instead of Calabasas, tiaras instead of contour. The difference is, Harry and Meghan aren't selling scandals, they're trying to survive them. When Jasmine said Harry has a right to speak, she wasn't just defending a prince, she was defending a man who watched his mother die because the press couldn't back off. That trauma doesn't fade. Harry has carried that grief into adulthood, watching history repeat itself with Meghan. And when he saw the same cameras chasing, the same headlines dripping with cruelty, he decided not to let the story end the same way. That's courage, not betrayal. The media pundits sitting there rolling their eyes at Jasmine acted as if Harry's interviews were some kind of royal gossip tour. But he wasn't gossiping, he was healing. Spare wasn't a publicity stunt, it was therapy in hardback form. For the first time, he told his story unfiltered. About losing his mother, about therapy, about Meghan saving his sanity when no one else would. And what did the British media do? They cherry-picked the juiciest lines, twisted them into outrage, and sold it back to the public as scandal. The hypocrisy could fill Buckingham Palace twice over. Jasmine called it what it was, his right to set the record straight. Because if you've been misrepresented, misunderstood, and misquoted for years, silence isn't dignity, it's surrender. Harry refused to surrender. He chose to speak with his own voice, not through palace statements ghost-written by courtiers. And Meghan, bless her, has been the epitome of grace through it all. Every time she's mocked or attacked, she stays poised. But don't mistake that poise for weakness. That woman's strength could power all of Windsor Castle. And can we talk about how the same press that bullied Meghan now pretends to defend the monarchy? Please. Where was their defence when royal staffers were leaking false stories about her crying or about her breaking protocol? Where was that loyalty when the tabloids questioned the colour of her baby's skin? If this 1,000-year-old institution was truly about honour, it would have protected its own daughter-in-law. Instead, it sacrificed her reputation to shield others from scandal. That's why Harry left. That's why they both left. Not because they hate Britain, not because they crave Hollywood lights, but because they were done being puppets in a show that never gave them peace. And when they finally escaped, the same media that tormented them screamed they abandoned their duty. No, they abandoned their tormentors. There's a difference. Jasmine's moment on Jeremy Vine felt like a public correction, someone finally saying, "Enough." She stood her ground, surrounded by voices trying to defend the indefensible. You could tell she wasn't playing the royalist game. She was speaking from experience, from inside knowledge of how TV and tabloids work. She knows how they feed the outrage machine, and she knew exactly why they were all so angry at Harry, because he took the pen out of their hands. Harry's truth scares them because it exposes their entire industry. His book, his interviews, his transparency. They peel back the curtain on how palace press offices and tabloids collaborate. They've built their careers on royal secrets and selective leaks, and now one of their main sources has walked away and started talking directly to the people. No middlemen, no manipulation, just honesty. That's power, and that's what they can't stand. Meanwhile, Meghan has built her own empire, rooted in authenticity and kindness. She doesn't need royal titles to shine. Whether she's working with Baby to Baby, speaking at events about women's empowerment, or creating thoughtful products that celebrate love and nature, she's doing what the monarchy pretends to do, real service. And yet the same media that ignores her charity work will